Do you ever feel like you're running out of time? As if your life itself slips away? Well, we know that sometimes you might feel regretful about certain things in life, and you better believe us when we say we know exactly where you're coming from. And we've been there more times than we care to count. Sometimes the solution lies closer than you think. From our combined experience, these are just a few pieces of advice we collected over the years about the things you should do in your 20s and 30s that will effectively improve your future. And we want to share them with you because we understand that reading between the lines might not be for everybody. After all, there's no knowledge that is not power. And if you're here watching this video, that means you think differently from the rest of the world. Make sure to stick around till the end for a bonus tip. These are the 10 things we wish we had known in our 20s. Pro tip number 1. Don't take advice from anyone who's not where you want to be. Have you ever been in a situation where you were looking for advice on a big decision, only to find yourself surrounded by well-intentioned but ultimately unqualified opinions? It can be so frustrating. I know you can relate. But today, I want to talk to you about the importance of seeking guidance from people who have already done everything you want to do. The ones who are already where you want to be. You see, when it comes to advice, the old saying still holds true. Success leaves clues. If someone has already achieved what you want to achieve, they already have a blueprint for success that you can follow. They have a roadmap, a set of best practices, and a deep understanding of the challenges and obstacles you're likely to face. So why would you take advice from someone who's not in that place? From someone who is still trying to figure it out? I urge you to take this lesson to heart. When you're looking for advice, don't settle for anything less than the best. Seek out people who are already where you want to be and ask them for their guidance. Of course, you can also offer them an incentive in exchange for their precious time. After all, they have the knowledge, experience, and perspective you need to succeed, and that in and out itself has a high value. Pro tip number 2. Early retirement is 100% possible. Now, when we say retirement, we don't mean expecting the government to come to your rescue. Did you know that as of 2022, 1/3 of millennials and Gen Zers plan to still work full-time when they reach retirement age? That's a mind-blowing and extremely sad fact. However, we want you to ask yourself this. Are you not smart enough to find a way to break the cycle and be totally free from a 9-to-5 job at least 20 years earlier than everybody else? That question alone should be pure fuel to get you up and running in order to find a way to make it possible. The key to living in an abundant and fulfilling retirement is to get multiple sources of income. Remember that you can't possibly work 24/7, but your money can. The benefits of working hard when you are still young and have the energy to do it should never be taken for granted. Find a way to make money work for you, even while you're asleep, and you'll be free. It doesn't necessarily have to be your own money. It can be other people's capital. Fundamentally, real estate can be based 100% on this concept. Think about it. This is going to sound super reductive, but the principle is still there. You could borrow money from the bank, say $100,000 to buy a property. You put tenants into the asset, and they pay off the money that you never had in the first place. Depending on the return on investment and the revenue per month, the asset could be paid in full semi-automatically. Now replicate this on a large scale, and over time you'll have appreciation of the assets and a list of properties at your name. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. It goes without saying, but you'll need to study the market, do heavy research, find the deals, make a bunch of phone calls, and cope with rejection every single day. Is it worth it? Of course. But do you think most people think like this? Of course not. The important thing is to make money by taking advantage of the time and energy that you have right now in your youth to build something that transcends time. Something that can also allow you to buy the skills you ultimately want to use when you're ready to start a different business to increase your sources of income. Pro tip number 3. Your diet is not just what you ingest, but the books you read, who you follow, what you watch, and the people in your inner circle. You see, just like the food we eat affects our health and well-being, the information we consume, the people we surround ourselves with, and the media we watch all have a profound impact on our lives. And just like we have to be mindful of what we eat, we have to be mindful of what we feed our minds and our spirits with. Let's start with books. The books we read have the power to shape our beliefs, our values, and our perspective on the world. They can challenge us, inspire us, and educate us. So if you want to be the best version of yourself, make sure you're reading books that are aligned with your values, and that will help you grow and evolve. Next, let's talk about who you follow on social media and the influencers you listen to. Social media is a powerful tool, and it has the ability to shape our opinions, our preferences, and even our identity. So be mindful of who you're following and make sure that the people you follow are positive, uplifting, and inspiring. And then there's the media we consume. Whether it's TV, movies, or video games, what we watch has the power to influence our emotions, our beliefs, and our behavior. Stay vigilant of what you're watching and make sure that the media you pay attention to is actually helping you become the person you want to be. And finally, let's talk about the people in your inner circle. The people we surround ourselves with have a subconscious influence on our minds. They can lift us up or bring us down. They can inspire us or hold us back. Only surround yourself with people who are supportive, positive, and have your best interests at heart. Pro tip number 4. When you find someone smarter than you, don't compete with them, collaborate. You see, as human beings, it's natural for us to feel a bit intimidated when we encounter someone who seems to have more knowledge, skills, or abilities than we do. But it's important to remember that being smart doesn't mean you know everything, and it doesn't mean you're always right. In fact, it's those moments when we encounter someone who seems to have a better understanding of a situation or a problem that we have an opportunity to learn, grow, and become better ourselves. That's why, when you find someone who is smarter than you, don't look at them as a rival or a threat. Instead, look at them as an ally, a partner, someone who can help you become even better. Collaborating with someone who is smarter than you can bring out the best in both of you, and it can lead to greater things than either of you could achieve on your own. For example, let's say you're working on a project and you encounter someone who has a much better understanding of a particular aspect of the project than you do. Rather than trying to compete with them, embrace their knowledge and expertise and ask them to help you learn. By doing so, not only will you benefit from their knowledge, but they'll also benefit from your perspective and skills, and together you'll be able to create something truly great. So, when you find someone who is smarter than you, don't be intimidated, don't be threatened, and don't try to compete. Make an effort to collaborate with them, learn from them, and become better together. Because in the end, it's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the best person you can be and working together with others to achieve greatness. Pro tip number 5. Deep down, no one cares about you. Break the shyness cycle and create your own opportunities. I know this might be a difficult truth to face, and that is the feeling that deep down, no one really cares about us. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of shyness and insecurity, thinking that we need validation from others in order to be happy or successful. But the truth is, the only person who can truly make a difference in your life is yourself. You see, no one can create opportunities for you, no one can live your life for you, and no one can make you happy. That's why it's so important to break the shyness cycle and take control of your own life. The only way to do that is by creating your own opportunities, by taking risks, and by going after what you want, no matter what others may think or say. The first step in breaking the shyness cycle is to believe in yourself. You have to have faith that you have something valuable to offer and that you have the ability to make a difference in the world. Once you have that belief, you can start taking small steps towards your goals, no matter how scared you may feel. For example, let's say you want to start your own business, but you're afraid of failure. Instead of letting that fear control you, take small steps towards your goal. Start by researching the market, reaching out to potential customers, and learning about the industry. Even if you don't feel confident, fake it until you make it. The more you put yourself out there, the more confident you'll become, and the more opportunities you'll create for yourself. So, don't let the feeling that deep down, no one really cares about you, hold you back. Break the shyness cycle, believe in yourself more, and start shaping your own reality today. You have something valuable to offer, and the world is waiting for you to share it. Pro tip number 6. Learn to take nothing personally and save yourself from emotional hell. You see, when we take things personally, we put ourselves in a vulnerable position, and we open ourselves up to a lot of hurt and disappointment. Just like the ancient Greek philosopher Epictetus once said, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. But when we learn to take nothing personally, we free ourselves from the emotional stress that comes from constantly worrying about what others think of us. The key to achieve that is to understand that other people's words and actions are a reflection of their own thoughts and insecurities, and not necessarily a reflection of you. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that others are being critical or dismissive of us, but the reality is that their behavior is often more about them than it is about us. For example, let's imagine that someone says something hurtful to you. Instead of taking it personally and allowing it to affect your self-esteem, step back and ask yourself, is this really about me, or is it about something else? When you realize that it's not about you, you can let it go and move on without feeling hurt or stressed. Another key to taking nothing personally is to focus on your own self-worth and value, instead of constantly seeking validation from others. When you believe in yourself and you know that you have something valuable to offer, you won't be as affected by what others think or say. You'll be able to maintain your self-esteem and confidence, regardless of anyone's opinion. Focus on your own self-worth and value, and believe in yourself. You'll be amazed at how much better you'll feel and how much more control you'll have over your own life. Pro tip number 7. Your stable job is someone else's passive income. Find a way to increase your income using your ingenuity. For many of us, our stable job is our primary source of income, but it's also someone else's ticket to financial freedom. That's why it's so important to find a way to increase your own income using your own time and available resources. Now, I'm not saying that you should quit your job and take on a big risk. What I'm saying is that there are many ways to supplement your income and to build wealth over time by using your own skills and creativity. We already covered in a past video some of the easiest business ideas you can start as soon as possible. The link is in the description below. Another very valid option is to invest in yourself and learn new skills that can help you increase your income. For example, you could take courses in a new area of expertise, or you could start a side business in a field that you're passionate about. Remember, when you invest in yourself, you basically are buying the skills that will allow you to multiply your capital in the future. If you want to increase your income and build wealth over time, don't just rely on your stable job. Find a way to use your own ingenuity and creativity to build new opportunities for yourself. It's always worth keeping in mind that with a little hard work and determination, you can create your own passive income streams and take control of your financial future just like your current boss did. If they did it, why can't you? Pro tip number 8. It's way better to read one boring business book many times and take imperfect actions than to read 1,000 trendy business books and expect to have perfect results. Self-help books can be great, and they can give us a lot of inspiration and motivation, but at the end of the day, it's the actions that we take that determine our success. And oftentimes, the best action is to just get started, even if we're not 100% sure about what we're doing. For example, let's say you want to start a business. You could read 1,000 books about entrepreneurship and learn everything there is to know about starting a business, but if you never take action, you'll never see results. On the other hand, if you pick up one boring business book and read it over and over again until you have a clear understanding of the steps you need to take, and then you take action, even if it's imperfect, you'll be far ahead of the game. The same is true for any area of your life. If you want to improve your health, you don't need to read 1,000 books about diet and exercise. All you need is one good resource and then take action, even if it's little. Pick up one book about the area of your life that you want to improve and read it over and over again until you have a clear picture of what you need to do. And then take action, even if it's the smallest of the steps. You'll be amazed at the progress you'll make and the success you'll achieve if you're consistent. Pro tip number 9. For a large number of people, college is a waste of time and a one-way ticket to bankruptcy. Harness the power of the internet to acquire the skills you need to succeed. It's no secret that college is expensive, and it often doesn't provide students with the skills they need to succeed in today's rapidly changing world. We've said this many times on this channel. But I'm here to tell you that there is a better way. Education is changing and evolving at a pace that college and university for the most part cannot reach. The internet has made it possible for anyone, anywhere, to access high-quality education, sometimes for free or at a fraction of the cost of a traditional college degree. For example, you can take online courses in a wide variety of subjects, from computer programming to entrepreneurship. You can also learn from experts in your field by watching their videos, reading their blogs, or following them on social media. And the best part is that you can learn at your own pace and on your own schedule. So if you want to learn a new skill, you can do it in your spare time, without having to give up your day job. If you're still in your 20s and thinking of going to college to study business, I urge you to reconsider. Instead, harness the power of the internet and start learning the skills you need to succeed. You'll save yourself a lot of time and money, and you'll be better prepared for the challenges of the future. We'll always tell you that right now, the programming and computer engineering sector is the best opportunity for young people without a university diploma. What companies in the tech industry are looking for is proven experience and expertise, and the demand will only increase more and more as time goes by. Yes, there are massive layoffs at Google, Amazon, Twitter, and many other tech giants, but at the same time, there are more startups than ever before in the field. Take advantage of that right now. Pro tip number 10. Don't overshare. Respect your own privacy. We live in a world where it's easy to overshare, where we feel like we need to let everyone know what we're doing, every moment of the day. But I'm here to tell you that it's okay to keep some things to yourself. There's a fine line between sharing information about yourself and oversharing. When you overshare, you're putting yourself at risk. People don't need to know everything about you in your free time, and when you share too much, you're also putting others at risk. Envy is a real thing, and when you share too much about your life, you can inadvertently cause envy in others. They may start to compare themselves to you and feel like they're not as successful or happy as you are, and that can be damaging to their self-esteem and well-being. Be mindful of what you're sharing and ask yourself whether it's really necessary for others to know. You don't need to share everything about yourself, and that's okay. When you respect your own privacy, you're also creating a space where people can feel free from being judged or compared directly to you. Let's create a world where we can all be ourselves, without feeling like we need to share every detail of our lives with others. Bonus pro tip. Having the mind of an entrepreneur means that even in the face of failure, you will see an opportunity for progress. Always keep your focus on the opportunities you have, and if you make the right decisions, you could even become the next Warren Buffett. Now, ask yourself this question. Do you really think he works hard all the time nowadays that he could be happily retired? Of course not. Come on, the man spends 6 hours of his day just reading and getting more and more knowledge. There lies the key to success. Hard work can only take you so far in life, but a smart, simple plan combined with an open mind and the desire to face adversities will bring you so many opportunities that otherwise would be impossible to fathom. Never forget what they say. Every penny counts. This is absolutely true. If you could somehow manage to double one single penny consecutively every day for a mere month, you would end up with shy of $5.3 million. Imagine what you can accomplish if you could multiply your net income every year. With all of that said, save in your 20s to live well in your 30s and repeat the process. Always envision yourself far into the future. The things you do now will determine your life later, and there are a plethora of books that cover this topic in detail. In fact, we already made a video that goes over some of the best books that you need to succeed in business or to help you get started in your own side hustle. Check it out here.